it be my way.
Let's go. What is going on, y'all? I'm back with another mini interview, and tonight I'm gonna be reviewing the Super Mario movie, which was actually a pretty fun movie. Like, took my kid to see it and everything. He enjoyed it. It had a lot of callbacks to just like different bits of nostalgia that you remember as far as music wise and even characters as well. Um, but this will be what my second mini interview for the show. So I hope y'all did enjoy the last one over Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and like I said, today we'll be jumping into Super Mario Brothers. So yeah, so let's get into it. My goal is to knock this out in 15 minutes or less, and hopefully y'all enjoy it. So the Super Mario movie, it does not start out how you think it would start out. Um, Mario and Luigi are essentially regular people, um, uh, and they're working to be plumbers. So they have a story of, oh, we spent our life savings to do what we love doing or whatever, and that's kind of where you're at with the characters or whatnot, and you meet them in New York. Of course, I think they're in Brooklyn, New York, when you meet them and everything, and basically, how the story pretty much kind of goes is they were losers essentially. They used to work for another plumber, and then they developed their own business or whatever, and that's where you catch them at. You catch them trying to build up their plumbing business or whatever. So essentially, I thought, like Mario and Luigi like grew up in this world, but they didn't, or at least in the movie they didn't, or whatever. They were plunged into it essentially. But yeah, so you do get to see the beginning of that. You get to see their family and everything like that. Because if I had to guess, they had to be in their early 20s, Mario and Luigi, because like I said, they got up all their savings and they put money towards, doing their own business or whatever. So they're out here trying to find odd jobs. They're out here trying to get clientele and everything like that, and try to show everyone that you know this is what they do and they'll be successful at it. So in the beginning of it or whatnot, they are working on one person's house or whatnot, and the leak ends up getting worse than what it should have been because there was this crazy ass cat that had beef with Luigi or whatever, and it ended up messing up their whole thing or whatever, and they took a hit on that, and then going past that, excuse me, the city had a major leak or whatever, and while Mario's kind of down and out because of the situation that happened with the client and his family, essentially not really support him, more so just like you shouldn't have, done that. You shouldn't have quit a good job so you can do all this stuff for your own or whatever have you. So Mario, picks himself up by his bootstraps and is like, "Hey Luigi, let's go try to fix this leak for the city or whatever." So therefore, they know we mean business or whatever. So of course, that's what they lead out to do or whatever, and they finally get to it and whatnot. They get to the leak that's happening or whatnot, and then they ended up into the sewer to try to find where the source of it was coming from or whatever. The deeper and deeper they got, boom, there goes the plot in the story or whatnot. There was this pipe, and surprisingly enough, the pipe took Luigi first, which is kind of funny because if you played the Super Mario movie or whatever, Mario was player one. So you would think essentially he would have been the first one to go through the tubing, but he didn't. Luigi did. And so in this tube, he gets sucked in or whatever. He sees Luigi. He's trying to save Luigi or whatever. Like, hey, don't worry. We're gonna be all right. We stick together. Of course, how most movies go. Y'all not about to stay together. They got split up or whatnot. Luigi goes one way, Mario goes the other way, and essentially Luigi got pulled into like a dark universe or whatever. But I think they're gonna probably expand on it more. If they don't, they did leave a lot of hints. No, they did leave a lot of hints and clues that will lead up to showing Luigi's mansion or whatever and all that or whatever. Because that's kind of the universe he got spun and spit into. Whereas Mario, he got sent straight to the Mushroom Kingdom. So he lands in the mushrooms or whatever. He finds Toad. Toad tells him, "Hey, like we got some stuff going on. You need to come with me, um, so we can essentially save the kingdom or whatever." Mario confused. He's just like, "Yo, what's going on? Like, well, why am I here?" Type deal. And I know people gave the movie a lot of flack before it dropped that Chris Pratt was doing the voice of Mario, but it didn't hurt anything because essentially, if you ever play the games, essentially it's like how would Mario talk for real? And basically Chris Pratt did that, how Mario would talk for real, not this wahoo or here we go and all that stuff. Like, I don't even know if anybody could really sit through that honestly and be okay. Like, oh, like I'm fine with this, the way he's talking and everything like that. I can deal with that for a whole hour and a half. Like, nah, like using Chris Pratt was a good idea. It made sense. Like, if you are gonna listen to somebody for that long, at least make it make sense, in which they did. And Luigi as well. Damn, I forget his name. Oh, there we go. Like I told you, I got the casting up in my face so I can speak to it. Charlie Day. Charlie Day. Um, I'm not gonna say he didn't fit the voice. I mean, to be honest, they kind of shoved him out the way and focused on Mario, which, I mean, I guess made sense. You didn't really see Luigi again till towards the end of the movie or whatever. But I mean, from what you did hear from Charlie Day, I think he did. I think he did a decent job voicing Luigi as well. And the same thing, like, what would he really sound like if he was going on and on or whatever? But back to Mario, boom, he falls into the kingdom. Toad leads him to where the castle is and to Peach and everything. And the one thing I like about how they did Peach, they did it. They didn't turn her into the damsel in distress, damsel in distress or whatever. Like Peach, she could go. Like she was willing to do whatever it did. Whatever she needed to do to save her kingdom. She could do just as much, if not more, than Mario because Mario was new to this place or whatever. She's been there all her life or whatnot. So it would make sense that someone that has been there all their life, and then you come out of nowhere that they know more about how to defend themselves and what's going on or whatever more than you do, because essentially there was like three kingdoms. So you got Peach's kingdom, you got Bowser's kingdom, and you have the Kong kingdom or whatever. So I did like the dynamic or whatever. They didn't overdo they didn't overdo, I guess, the relationship or whatever. They didn't overdo, Peach's importance to the kingdom. They didn't overdo Mario like knowing how to do everything, off the strength, which you didn't. Like, Mario came in not knowing what was going on. He had to learn how to, pick up a cube or pick up a mushroom or whatever have you, how to power up and all that stuff. He had to learn how to do that, which, like I said, makes sense. Like somebody's coming from a different world, not knowing what's going on. It makes sense that they had to learn what was going on. So, like I said, in that sense, it made a great deal. Um, and then as far as Bowser, you pretty much got what you needed from Bowser in the trailer. You knew what his quest was, what he was trying to do, and everything. He wanted to get the star. He wanted to gain power. He wanted to abolish all kingdoms and whatever and be on top. So you got most of that from the trailer. So when you come into the movie, it's not like a shocker of what he's doing or anything like that or whatever. And at first I was kind of worried, not worried, but I was interested that they chose Jack Black to do the voice of Bowser. But now that I've seen the movie, Jack Black did an amazing job. But the thing about Jack Black, he really don't miss. I don't think a lot of people give him as much credit as he deserves. He really don't miss or whatever when it comes to characters that he plays or whatever. But he did a phenomenal job. Originally, before this movie came out, I was like, yo, why they ain't give it to Kevin Michael Richardson? He done did a lot of villain voices. Like he done did Trigon, and he's done a lot of villain voices, and he has a very deep voice when it comes to his voice acting. So I was like, why they ain't choose him? But now I see why they chose Jack Black or whatever. It's not more so that Jack Black sounded better than him, but boy, boy, oh boy, when that Joker got to singing, when he started singing about Peach, that's another thing, boy. Like as kids, or when you were playing a game, you always kind of knew like Bowser had a thing for Peach, but in the movie, they let it be known this man won't Peach. That man was simping for Peach or whatever. So he was going off. He was singing this song about like peaches, 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 peaches. I love you, and I mean it was all in Jack Black fashion or whatever. So I did enjoy that part of it or whatnot. Um, but as far as the journey and the quest goes or whatever, it wasn't nothing that made it seem like Mario knew it all and was ready to go. Like he had to learn all the way through. Like he just wasn't the super action hero or Super Mario that we know him to be in the cartoons. Like he had to build up to that. Because later in the movie you get to meet the Kong family and Donkey Kong and all that or whatever, and they had Seth Rogen doing Donkey Kong. I ain't really care for it because Seth Rogen don't know how to be other characters. Seth Rogen only know how to be Seth Rogen. From the laughing, talking, like Seth Rogen only know how to be him. Like even when Donkey Kong was laughing, it was Seth Rogen laughing. I was like Seth Rogen, my man, 100 grand, but voice act sound different than you normally sound. Like it can't be every character that I'm watching. Oh, that's a grasshopper with Seth Rogen's voice. Oh, that's Donkey Kong with Seth Rogen's voice. Like I should not be able to distinct you in every character that you play or whatnot. But overall, he did his part or whatever. And you even got to see, you got to see Cranky Kong, you got to see Chunky Kong, you got to see what was her name? The girl, I forget her name. But if you play the game, you know who I'm talking about. And then you also even got to see Diddy Kong as well. The only one you didn't get to see was Lanky Kong, which maybe I missed him. It's very well I could have missed him. But yeah, so they had a whole Kong family in effect. So anyways, Peaches wants to go to the Kong Kingdom for help or whatever because she was like, not not that she didn't have faith in Mario, but it was just like we need more help if we depend, we plan on defeating Bowser and his army or whatever have you. So they went to go get help from the Kong family, But of course, Cranky Kong, he don't never just get nothing up easy. He like, hey, Mario gonna have to fight Kong, and Diddy Kong finally come out or whatever, and of course, like I said, Mario's inexperienced, so he's doing his best to try to fight against Donkey Kong, because Donkey Kong ain't no Hulk. Donkey Kong is strong. Like if Donkey Kong wanted to, he could have did him like the Hulk and smashed him like Loki, boom, 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 which essentially in some parts he did or whatever. But Mario did end up defeating him because he started kind of understanding the powers or whatever. And basically after that, it was a race off to Bowser's Kingdom to go defeat him or whatever. And of course, they run the go karts out or whatever. They got to design their karts. It was right on the Rainbow Trail. A lot of nostalgia. For me at least or whatever. And it was just kind of good to see some of those things going, and you can kind of tell if they decide to continue on with this and make a universe out of it, they got the room and they got the space to do it or whatever. But so they race out to the castle or whatever, and they they intend to try to defeat Bowser, but his minions or whatever kind of get them before they even get there or whatever have you. So Bowser tries to sway Peaches to marry him. At first, Peaches wasn't gonna go for it or whatever, but of course he threatened like, "Oh, I'll do this to your kingdom or your people, or whatever." So she yielded. But when it finally came to, I guess, the wedding ceremony, you had more cameos from King Moon and things of that nature in the wedding or whatever. But like I said before in the beginning, whatever, Peach wasn't just going for anything. So even though it looked like she was, conceited and all that, she had a plan. Um, so she and Mario went up against Bowser and his kingdom and his minions and whatnot, and the fight led on to the real world. So everybody was there or whatever. So it got to a point where Mario had to man up and he had to be, I guess, essentially who he was chosen to be or whatever, and use his power ups to his advantage and figured out how to defeat Bowser. And of course, like I said in the beginning, you didn't really see Luigi throughout the movie, but Luigi finally comes in and they go for the star. They both grab the star and they defeat Bowser, whatever, as a team or whatnot. So, like I said, the movie was pretty good. Definitely a family movie. If you love Mario and that universe, you'll love the movie or whatever. Take your kids to go see it or whatnot. And there was a there was a post credit. Well, it was two credit. It was two. It was a post credit. It was an end credit scenes. So make sure y'all stay tuned at the end. If y'all kids are like my kids, my son just sitting there like, man, what we waiting for, Daddy? Movie over. Credits gone. I'm like, son, you look. Marvel prepared me for this, son. Just wait. There's something that's gonna be shown or whatever, and I'm not gonna spoil it for y'all. Y'all need to go see it for yourself if you want to see what I'm talking about. But definitely know that there's going to be continuation somewhere. So, like I said, y'all stay tuned. This has been another mini review. I try to keep it down to 15 minutes. I'm just a minute over, but it is what it is. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And y'all stay tuned for the mid-season premiere. We coming back. We have 6 episodes already slated, ready to go. So y'all stay tuned. Continue with the love and support. Make sure that y'all like. Make sure y'all subscribe. Listen to us on Spotify and Anchor and anywhere that you listen to your podcast. You can catch us anywhere. So thank y'all for listening. Again, I am your host K1, one half of the mightiest nerd podcast on demand. And y'all have a great night. Peace.